This is not, repeat, not a smiley face. Got it?
Hey there, hi there, ho there. I'm back in the office. Still in the office. That's the tricky thing about the office. Getting in is easy. Getting out, that's a little more involved. But looking at current events again, which is always a dangerous thing. And I have a question. It was not too long after 9/11. There were a number of Sephardic Jews who volunteered their services to the CIA as analysts and translators. I don't recall if they were American. The CIA decided, no, we won't have these Sephardic Jews doing our translation for us because the Jews might have divided loyalties. Now, as far as I know, that policy still holds. So now here we are 7-8 years out. We just had a situation with this bozo, not a Jew, obviously, who just shot up Fort Hood. This is a guy who was known to be passing love notes to a charter member of the terrorist watch list. This was a guy who was known to be not even holding up his academics, but for reasons that I still do not understand. It was a bad policy of the previous administration, and it seems to not be getting remedied by the new guard in D.C., to bend over backwards to accommodate Muslims. As a result, we've had something like 7 or 8 incidents, very much like that at Fort Hood this past year, only not quite so large and well publicized. And to the best of my knowledge, none of the relatively few Jewish troops have fragged their commanders or shot up their base. Nor am I aware of any rabbis here or in Eretz Yisrael who are on the terrorist watch list. Whose loyalties are divided? Now this.
Loyalties play a part in the Parsha's Tolos, which, if we finish this in time, will be this week's Parsha, as do, by the way, priorities. Here's what I mean. Yitzhak had his loyalties certainly to his nominal firstborn. There is some bit of medrash as to whether or not he was the firstborn. I'm not even going. Nonetheless, Yitzhak had his loyalty to his firstborn, and Midrash tells us also to his dinner. Rivka had her priorities, and they were relevant to Yaakov's future. And so, a little dinner, a little... And lo and behold, Yaakov winds up being the ancestor to Moshe Rabbeinu, David and Melech, and eventually Mashiach. And Asa has been out of joint about it ever since. That's our shot at the Parsha for this time. Enjoy your Shabbos. Now this. Revenge, of course, we have but one loyalty, and that is Mashiach. And we have but one priority, and that is to bring Mashiach into this world while we're all still young enough to enjoy it. Second priority, however, is keeping track of what is the next big item on the Jewish calendar. Not Hanukkah. Well nigh an equally special occasion on the 19th day of Kislev. Yud Tes Kislev marks the anniversary of the day that Rabbi Shner Zalman, Baal HaTanya, and the first Lubavitcher Rebbe got sprung after 54 days in Russian joint. And there was much rejoicing in Russia and in wherever else there were Lubavitchers at the time. Certainly not as many as there are these days. Recently revealed were the personal private notes of Shmuel Munkus himself, who was an eyewitness to the release. And at long last, after much examination and argument over the translation, it finally comes to us. What were the Alter Rebbe's first words when he emerged from the Russian jail? You guessed it, boys and girls, so let's say it all together loud and proud. Go us, Mashiach!